Hi, I'm Rajalakshmi, and today I will be talking a lot about meninges. Okay, so first, did you know that the meninges is a three-layered membrane covering and protecting the brain and spinal cord? If your answer was no, well, now you know. Remember I mentioned three layers in the meninges? The first one is the dura mater, the toughest outermost layer. The second one is the arachnoid mater, in the middle of the meninges, under the dura mater. The third one is the Pia Mater, which is the innermost layer, right under the subarachnoid space. The subarachnoid space is an empty space under the arachnoid matter. Okay, so now we will be going in depth into the three layers. The first is the dura mater structure. The dura mater consists of two layers, the outer periosteal layer and the inner meningeal layer. The periosteal layer is directly attached to the inside of the skull, serving as a protective padding, similar to the lining inside a helmet. However, this layer is absent in the spinal cord. The meningeal layer is closer to the brain and spinal cord. While these two layers are generally fused, they separate in some areas to form spaces that facilitate the flow of blood from the brain back to the heart. The space between layers is known as the epidural space. The function of the dura mater is multifaceted. It primarily serves to protect the brain and the spinal cord from injury. Furthermore, it provides a structural support to the brain, ensuring it remains securely in position within the skull, preventing excessive movement during activities like shaking your head or performing a cartwheel. This ensures optimal brain functionality. The dura mater also houses veins and arteries that transport blood to and from the brain, facilitating the delivery of essential oxygen and nutrients and the removal of waste products. Now, our next stop is the arachnoid matter. The arachnoid matter is named so because of its resemblance to a spiderweb, consisting of many fine strands or fibers that stretch down to the pia mater. The space between the arachnoid matter and the pia mater, known as the subarachnoid space, is filled with cerebrospinal fluid, CSF. This fluid serves as a shock absorber. I had talked about this previously. Protecting the brain and spinal cord from impacts is its main duty. Additionally, there's a potential space between the arachnoid matter and the dura mater, called the subdural space. Under normal conditions, it's empty, but it can fill with fluid due to injury or illness, leading to complications. Functionally, the arachnoid matter acts like a bubble wrap for the brain and spinal cord. The CSF within the subarachnoid space not only cushions against physical impacts but also ensures a stable environment by preventing direct contact between the neural structures and the dura mater. This protective mechanism is vital for the health and function of the brain and spinal cord. The last stop is the pia mater, the structure. The word Pia Mater actually comes from Latin, and it means tender mother. This is because Pia Mater is very thin and delicate, kind of like a really soft blanket for your brain. Even though it's thin, it's also very important because it helps protect your brain and spinal cord. The Pia Mater is full of small, really tiny blood vessels. These blood vessels are really important because they provide nutrients and oxygen to the brain and spinal cord. This layer is tightly attached to the surface of the brain and follows all the brain's contours, which mean it dips down into all the crevices and wraps around all the protrusions. This ensures that the entire brain is covered and protected. The PMR's job is to protect are brain and spinal cord. It's the innermost layer, so it sits right on top of the brain and spinal cord, as already said. And so it protects every single area of the brain. It also supplies nutrients and oxygen to the brain because of its tiny blood vessels. So everything the brain needs comes from the Pia Mater. Okay, now for some cool facts. First, blood brain barrier. The meninges, along with other structures, help form the blood brain barrier. This barrier is super important because it prevents harmful substances in the blood from entering the brain. Next, meningitis. Meningitis, an infection or inflammation of the meninges, can be a life threatening condition. The symptoms can develop quickly and include a fever, headache, and neck stiffness. It's a testament to how vital the meninges are to our overall health and nervous system function. We will explore more about meningitis in a few moments. Last up is migraines. Some research suggests that the meninges may play a role in migraine headaches. This theory proposes that inflammation or irritation of the meninges could trigger the severe pain experienced during a migraine. Okay, meningitis. What is that? It is a life threatening infection that causes inflammation in the meninges. What causes it? The main culprits are bacteria, viruses, and fungi, but it could also be caused by some medications for a previous disease the patient has, or just by another disease. What are the symptoms? Well, meningitis can cause fever, headache, stiff neck, photophobia, which is basically a sensitivity to light, and seizures, confusion, and many more, even loss of consciousness. Treatments include vaccines, extra like vitamins, pure water, really important, and healthy food. And without the right treatments, 50% of the people would die of meningitis. So here this comes to an end. Thank you for listening.